Welcome to Chris and Jen in the Morning,
where it's always morning somewhere.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Jen. Welcome to our show.
Welcome, everybody. Jen, I want to talk to you about something that's like super important and meaningful to me, and interested to hear your perspective on it.
What could it be?
And that's music, songs, all of those things.
I love this.
There's a great quote by Plato that says, "Rhythm and harmony find their way into the inward places of the soul." And I truly feel that way with music. Like, I really connect. It's a great, like, when we talk about like meditation and things like that help you kind of drown out the world around you. For me, music is one of those things.
Yeah.
So,
and I know this about you. You actually have like kind of taught me a little more about this. I remember coming over to your house, your apartment in New York, and like we're getting ready and you turn the music on and it just like sets such a great tone for the day. That's actually something like a little life tip I've taken from you.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Whenever I'm like, oh, I just kind of feel funky, I'm like, put on some music. That's what Chris does.
That's right.
And it works.
I mean, I grew up in a household that was like that. We, like, as we were getting ready, as we, you would wake up, you would be getting ready. Like, music was just part of us. And that is something that I have pulled through to today, even. So I'm happy that someone else is getting to use that.
Yes, I love that. So tell me more.
So, well, I want to hear more from you. Tell me, like, who are some of your favorite artists? Any songs that like really stand out to you as like your go-tos? What does your music library look like?
So I would say music has always been really important to me. I, for some reason, just love the sad songs, even though they're really sad.
As we're laughing about the sad songs.
Yeah. Make up my own words. Love to sing them. And Ace will look at me like, why are you singing that? That's so sad. And I'm like, but I love it. But I would say, one of my favorite songs is actually Fly Me to the Moon by Frank Sinatra. That was the song that Ace and I danced to at our wedding. And so it'll always hold, the special place for me. But that's definitely, and I do love Frank. Frank Sinatra is just, he's great. I think anything by The Fray or Ed Sheeran. I have been so fortunate to get to see both in concert a number of times. And I just love everything that they do. So I notice that if I'm like feeling kind of down or blue or kind of melancholy and I just put on either Ed or The Fray, then my spirits just kind of lift.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah, right? Because even if it's like a sad song or something, it's just, I don't know, it sings to my heart. And I think the reason I like both of those groups so much is that they're very authentic in the way that they write their music. Yeah. Like it just, you feel like you really connect with it. It's not like there's some music that's out there that's like, meant to just be enjoyed. That's like really poppy or whatever, which is great. But I feel like when I listen to The Fray and I listen to Ed Sheeran, their songs actually like reach into my soul. So I really enjoy that. It's definitely a connection. And then I kind of have a few like songs I love to listen to kind of amp me up a little bit.
Okay.
So
your hype songs, if you will.
My hype songs. So I love K-pop. My husband actually got me listening to K-pop. I went to a Blackpink concert. I took him there for our anniversary, and I was like, okay, I get it now. I get it. So I really do. That's a gift he's given me. I do love to listen to K-pop, and there is a song by this boy K-pop band called 80s, and it's called Work. And I love that song. It's like just such a good, like, amp me up, get me ready to like go to work.
Okay.
You got to work, pay the bills.
It's a good reminder.
Yeah. It just kind of like has this amp you up energy. So I love that. I would say like back when I was in high school, the sort of amp me up anthem song was Nelly Ride With Me. Every time it would come on, we would roll the windows down and, throw our arms out the window and sing it. And then another Amp Me Up song I really love to listen to is I'm the Man by Aloe Black.
Oh, yep.
So I would say those are my like three kind of categories of music that I love to listen to.
So like when you're in the car and Ride With Me comes on, do the windows still go down? The hands still go out?
Doing a whole like, dance in your seat situation. It's one of those things where like when it happens and you see it, like people just jamming in their car as you drive by, you're like, they're really digging it.
I think that's the beauty of music. Like I hear what you're saying when it comes to like The Fray and Ed Sheeran, because I do think people have artists that they just, however they write, however they perform, like it just connects with them. And it's just, that's how I am with Pink. Anything Pink. Oh. When her Beautiful Trauma album came out, which I think was back in like 2017-ish.
I do love Pink. I love Pink.
I just like listen to that thing on repeat. So anything Pink, I'm absolutely
I love Pink.
Engaged. So one of my wedding song also, well, not wedding song, but like while my husband Frank was saying his vows, he broke out in song with Let's Stay Together by Al Green, which was a huge surprise. So that was a lot of fun and just created such great memory. So that's definitely on my list of I
love that. That was so fun. And he got everyone singing along.
He sure did. He had the music queued up on his phone and was ready to go.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
So much fun. I also recently, and this song is not recent, but I feel like I've more recently found it, Try Everything by Shakira. And to me, it's like the lyrics that are in the song, like it's a great beat, but also the lyrics themselves are really good. She, one of the verses says, look how far you've come. You filled your heart with love. Baby, you've done enough. Take a deep breath. Don't beat yourself up. No need to run so fast. Sometimes we come last, but we did our best. And I just like put that to an upbeat bop. And like all of a sudden I'm like re-inspired and ready to go again. Like knock me down so I can get back up.
That was in that animated movie.
Yeah, I think it was Zootopia.
Yeah, Zootopia. Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So love that one. Great chorus, great meaning. And then another song that really just holds a lot of importance in my life because of like around the time it came out, but also the significance that it had. When I was contemplating moving to New York, like, I mean, you've moved places several times, and it's like you're uprooting, you're moving away from people, friends. And so Rachel Platten's Fight Song was one of those songs for me that like when I felt...
I do love that song.
Yeah.
Yes.
When I felt like, can I do this? Like, can I really move away and start over new someplace else? And I remember one day I was like in my car driving and was just having these thoughts, and it came on just randomly, like was in the shuffle or whatever, and came on, and it was just like, I can do this. I've got this. Like it may be tough. It may be hard at times, but this is a great adventure, a great opportunity. So
like your anthem song.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's always held a special place in my heart. Whenever I hear it, I still like get those same feelings of like, I could do this. I'm going to make it through. So yeah, it's great. It's a great little bop.
I love that. I'd love to hear from all of our listeners what their favorite anthem songs are. What songs do you listen to that like kind of get you in the right headspace to go tackle whatever it is that you're tackling? I could always use some new anthem songs on my playlist.
And again, like I think it's really special in sharing music with people. So, because I understand that not everybody loves music the same, like some people just have it for background noise. Like I truly enjoy music, and so I really like want to connect either with the melody, the lyrics, like something. So if I share a song with you, it is because it is important.
Because it's important. And, I, of course, love all the sad songs.
Sometimes
you were saying,
sometimes the sad songs.
You were saying Pink, and I was just thinking about Pink did the collab, and it was that song "Just Give Me a Reason."
Oh yeah, it was the guy from Fun. I think his
Yes,
name is Nate, maybe Nate
yes,
Ruiz or something like that.
yes.
Yes, one of my
Um,
one of my favorites.
Such a great song, and just a really sad song, but I love to sing it. So so love that. There is a song called "Say Something." Do you remember that one? Say
Oh yes, yes,
something.
yes.
I'm giving up on you.
Yep, Great Big World.
Great big world. Yes. Terribly sad song. Just horribly sad.
Horribly sad.
But every time it comes on, I have to stop everything I'm doing and just sing it.
Turn it up.
It's just great. So I'll also take your great sad song tips because I love them. And my husband just looks at me as I'm singing them at the top of my lungs through the house, like, why are you singing the sad songs?
See, like, do you feel connected to this one?
I don't know. It's like it's self-care, I
about?
guess. I don't know. It's like a place to like express those sad emotions, even if it's not about the actual song. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure. It's just it's so soulful, you know?
Yeah. I think that's it. Like it reaches out and it like really
it touches
connects. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. It's a way to feel emotional, but in a safe space because it's not really about me and my situation.
But I enjoy it.
But I enjoy it. So speaking of self-care,
Yes.
and music is one of those great ways to practice good self-care. But we have some self-care fails we want to talk about today, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because sometimes with all the best of intentions, you go on a self-care exploration journey and it just doesn't work out the way that maybe you had envisioned.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think the first thing that I'll share on this topic, and I mean no disrespect to anyone who finds this category of videos or sounds enjoyable, but ASMR to me it's supposed to like do something for you, like release serotonin, like relax you, something like that. I do not find it to be that way.
I don't get that. Somebody did tell me like ASMR is great for people with anxiety. And I'm like, well, I'm a people with anxiety and it just makes me anxious.
You're like, I am not listening to that.
I don't know. It's just stupid. It's like the noises just sort of get in there and make you feel stressed. I don't know. So
I will say they've gotten very clever in making them though, because before I feel like it was very much so like action or something that was, but now I feel like they've worked them in some of the like kit filling things or my morning routine, and like people are like tapping with their fingernails, or you even sent me a video where the person was like giving their dog a spa day. And I was like, oh, that's so cute. Such a cute dog. And then towards the end, I realized like, oh my gosh, the microphone is actually picking up all of the little noises.
The little open the package, do the, yes.
Yes. So I will say, as much as I don't enjoy ASMR for I think the purpose that it is, like I do find myself watching the videos and getting to the end and being like, oh my gosh, this was an ASMR video. I didn't even realize.
I definitely know what you're talking about with the kit filling videos. It's like the snapping, the popping, the clicking, the whatever. And I haven't done any research on the science behind that, but it's very interesting. It's I don't know how that's supposed to be calming. I don't get it.
Well, to someone it is, right? So like, just like music speaks differently to different people based on artists, things like that. Like,
it's true.
You know,
I prefer the videos that have the music behind them.
Let's not focus on the clicks, the clacks, the taps.
Especially if it's a sad song. Especially if it's a sad song.
So Jen's going to get back on track is with our sad songs.
One of the self-care fails that I have, so years ago, I was doing acupuncture And I was doing this actually as a part of fertility treatment.
Okay.
And like needles are my, like, I know who loves needles, but I just really hate needles. And every time I have to go get blood drawn or something, it's like, they're like, are you okay? You're going to pass out? And I'm like, no, I'm fine. I just, like, this is very stressful. And, acupuncture, you go and they put needles in you just all over. And so I would go and this woman would put all these needles all over me. And then I would have to lay in the dark room for like 20 minutes. And there's this feeling of like you can't get up because you have needles all over your body. So like if you were to stand, they're like in your feet and stuff too. So you can't move. So you feel kind of claustrophobic, like trapped.
Okay.
And so I was doing this acupuncture and I would get really stressed and kind of like I didn't realize that they were panic attacks at the time because this was before I realized I had anxiety and had been having panic attacks.
Acupuncture did not help with that.
My whole life, and I didn't know what they were. But I would like have a panic attack while I was there laying on the table. But like I was kind of paralyzed and I couldn't like call for her to come back because I was just embarrassed that like she would think I was kind of crazy. And so once I actually had a coffee, like a highly caffeinated Starbucks probably coffee, before I went in for acupuncture. And so I already was feeling a little bit like amped up because I think it was back before I limited my caffeine intake. And so I went in and had my acupuncture done, and I just had a full blown like panic attack on the table, and like physically just got like very ill. And then every time I went back afterwards, the same thing would happen. I would just have a full on panic
Just
attack.
put you back in that place.
And she told me, the lady that was doing the acupuncture, that like it's an energy flow thing. And so you just kind of have to get past it. But I was like, I can't do this anymore. I think I made Ace come with me a couple of times and sit with me so that I could kind of manage my freak out.
Yeah.
If he was there with me. But then I decided, this probably actually is good for me. Like I believe in it. I buy into it. But like I can't go through this panic attack every time I lay on the table, having needles in me, totally claustrophobic, like I can't move. And so, it's been quite some time since I've explored that, and I have not gone back to it. It was a self-care fail for me.
So whenever you had the coffee, you go in, you're in the experience. Like, did you call her back at that point? Like, was that?
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, I got physically ill. It was horrible. I had to have her take all the needles out, and I had to go.
What is that? Like, how long is that process though? Like, is it a quick thing, or do you?
Like
I've never done it, so I don't know
the needles out, or like
they
put the needles in, and maybe that's okay. Time is
a struggle.
Time is not a concept that I adhere to or understand or live within. So I'm just gonna guess that it's maybe 15 minutes of putting the needles in.
Okay.
And then I think it's usually about somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes that they want you to sit there with the needles in. And, so I did end up calling her back into the room, and it's very quick to take all the needles out. And they're like long, they're like big, like needles.
I've always thought about doing it. I'm not going to lie, now I'm second guessing that thought.
No, I think you should try it. What I would say is you should be in a place where you are not all anxious, stressed when you go in. Like, you gotta, I used to like mentally coach myself through laying on the table going, okay, I know that this isn't forever. I know that I'm going to be able to get up. I know that I'm not trapped. Like, I think it just really triggered those like feelings for me. I don't know why. But having Ace in the room with me helped because I didn't feel so trapped. But I definitely like it it like triggered some adrenaline, something going on in me. So
Yeah.
that then was like kind of counterproductive.
Yeah.
But I fully believe that acupuncture like is a good thing to do. Maybe just not for everyone, or I need to do a little more research on how I should prepare myself if I want to go back into that. But if you go in at a 10 from an anxiety level, then it may not be the best situation.
Hey, well, at least you figured that out, and then you were like, you had the wherewithal to be like, hey, this isn't for me, and that's okay.
Yes, absolutely. Like it's like when the stress of the relaxing thing is doing the relaxing thing is more than the benefit of the relaxation you're going to get from it, then
Why am I doing this?
it's probably not right for you. So,
Probably not.
I feel like you've had, like speaking of things that are relaxing, I find massage very relaxing most of the time.
Yeah. So I never had a massage until the beginning of 2024. So,
Whoa, really?
Yeah, never had that experience. So the first lady that I ever get to give me a massage has worked at this same massage parlor for like 14, 15 years, like the majority of her career. She was amazing, truly enjoyed the experience. Like, wow, first time doing set a high bar. From there, had a couple of different, went to a couple of different places, also had massages. But then this last year for the holidays, Frank and I gifted each other massages for our gift to one another. And I was really trying to find a place here in the city that like was affordable and we were able to go to, because a lot of places sometimes it can be a little on the expensive side. If it's like at a spa, you have to get like access to the spa, and then you have to pay for it's all the things.
Yeah.
So I like really tried and found tried to find something that we could both like go to, enjoy, all of the things. So I think I found this place. And so we end up going, and again, I looked at the reviews to make sure they were under new management as of like a certain time point, and then all of the reviews from that point on looked to be fairly good. So we're running a few minutes late. So like I had called ahead and was like, hey, we're running a few minutes late. We'll be there. Like, we're 2 stops away. We're just waiting for the train. And so we get there, and it was nice. Like, it wasn't, we didn't go in and we're like automatically, but it was nice. It was clean. It was kind of dark. There were 2 people as we came in, and they quickly like took us to our rooms, and, like didn't make us fill out any paperwork, didn't like ask what type of massage we were looking for, like any of that. Like, it was just
it's a
hurry
first
to
time
your room and get first time we'd been to this place.
Yeah.
So then the guy comes in, I lay down, the guy comes back in, he starts like massaging. It's a little rough, but I'm also like, I have kinks and things that need to be worked out, probably just sensitive to that. Little did I know, this person would not only use his hands, his elbows, his forearms, he also used his feet.
Oh.
I kid you not, at one point, so I'm face down on the table, all of a sudden I start to feel like what I thought was like the palm of his hand on like my, like just under my shoulder blades, really pushing in. And then I realized like that's not a palm. That's not a palm. He is literally standing on my back.
I've had that. That's an actual technique.
It may be an actual technique, but it was not one I was prepared for, nor did anyone ask if I wanted to tap dance on my back. So here I am, like,
it is weird that there was
gosh.
like no conversation or paperwork, or that's abnormal.
Oh yeah, this place was, what we later discussed was not as reputable as we thought it probably should have been, and we would not be going back. However, it's a very awkward conversation to ask your significant other, did your person like walk on your back? And he was like, what? It was hard to believe. So I'm just thinking, like, how is this guy like able to stand on my back? Like, as he's like, so whenever I roll over, I can see there's a bar.
There's a bar up above. Yeah.
And he is holding on to it. Yes. I
This is a thing. The person that I go see, she does back walking as well. And of course, we always
Is that what it's called? Is back walking?
Yeah, I think there's like actually a technical name for it. It's a type of massage, and I think it might be a Thai technique, but I'm not totally sure. But my shoulders, are always really tight, and so sometimes she will do the back walking up on the shoulders because she really gets in.
I will
there.
say, I do know, he was really working certain points. I know that I carry my stress, all my stuff, in my shoulders, in my upper back.
If you don't know what to expect, that would be a huge surprise.
Very much so surprise. We both actually ended up getting bruises from how hard our massages were.
That should not be a thing.
So 2 weeks later, we go to the place that Frank had got us massages at, and as the girl is getting started on my back, she's like, "You seem really tight here," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's where I carry my stress." And she says, "Okay, well, you may want to think about getting a deep tissue massage." And I was like, "No, I had one of those a few weeks ago, and I just recovered from it. I can't." And so she starts laughing. I'm like, "I'm not kidding. I was bruised." And she's like, "Then you didn't get the right kind of massage because you should not be walking away scraped and bruised." It was traumatizing. I'm not gonna lie.
You should not be walking away from a massage bruised. That's there's a technique actually where they will push to the rebound of the muscles so they can feel and know when your muscle is actually pushing back. And so they know how much pressure to use. So when you have a really good massage therapist that's super technically trained, they don't have to ask you where you need massage. They know where you need massage. They feel it. They feel the tension in your body. They feel what's tight. They should be asking you, making it safe for you to say this is too much or whatever, because every individual is different. Right. But there actually is I can't remember the term for it, but it's a muscle rebound where they kind of push until they feel the muscle push back against them.
Interesting. So when you go for massages, do you usually do deep tissue, or what do you?
I do. I usually, what I've been told is that what you would think of as a Swedish massage, or what you typically would get as a Swedish massage here in the States, it's it feels good, but it's not therapeutic. That's not a therapeutic massage. And so if you're someone like me that has a lot of anxiety, is tense all the time, carries a lot of tension, has a lot of muscle tightness, that's really not going to do much for me, except for in the moment. So maybe there'll be some, in the moment relaxation.
Right.
But usually when I go get a massage, I'm getting a massage to actually, from a health standpoint, release the tension and the toxins so that my body actually works better. It's sort of what I started realizing is that massage for me is actually not a guilty pleasure like I always used to think about it. It's a preventative health practice. But it is kind of a vulnerable thing because you have somebody that's just you're in a really
vulnerable state,
less clothed situation, and they just have their hands all over you, and it's you have to have for me anyways, a trust in that situation to feel comfortable.
Absolutely.
Otherwise you can't relax because you're just stressed.
Right. And I think that's what I walked away from, that the parlor that I had found for us was I did not it. That was not relaxing. It was not stress reducing. It was it hurt. And so that makes your body
it shouldn't hurt. It shouldn't hurt.
So I am going to try a deep tissue massage with someone else now that I know that it was not done correctly.
Yeah, you have to, it has to be done correctly. I do think that there's a reason that there are different techniques for different purposes. So if you have something that's really tight and it's causing poor posture, it's causing, chronic pain, and you need that worked out, then that's good, like for deep tissue massage. There's also like Ayurvedic massage. There's an Ayurvedic scalp massage that I absolutely love, where they take warm, good oils and pour them on your head and massage your scalp. And it's like just tremendously relaxing, and it's super good for your hair and your skin, and that's like fantastic. So there's definitely like a whole world out there of different techniques and massage for different purposes. The other thing that I that I started to learn is that you will have some massage therapists, especially the therapeutic ones, that do massage therapy for like health. So maybe they're a part of a doctor's office practice. They'll not only do like massage, but they'll stretch you
Nice.
while they're doing massage. And usually I get a talking to about how I should be doing some daily certain stretches, especially like being in a job where I sit at a keyboard all the time. And you can even see here, I'm like hunched over and leaned in. Whenever I'm like engaged in something, I'm leaning in just naturally. And so that pulls certain parts of your muscles really tight. And so you need, and when you're sitting, your leg muscles get tight in certain places because you're sitting quite frequently. And so doing some
I will
stretching.
say this conversation has made me hyper aware of my posture.
Doing some stretching daily for that is good. And I usually walk away from my massage getting the reminder from my massage therapist about how I need to be stretching better, because then when I come in to see her, she will actually be able to get more done with me.
Not just getting you back to where she last saw you.
That's right. And every time I walk away from a massage, my husband, I say to him, because I get really stressed about going. So he will sometimes like go and just sit in the waiting room for me so that I'm not alone, which is just really sweet. But he doesn't want me to have to feel like I have to drive on the way home because I've just relaxed. So he'll like drop me off and pick me up, and which is a really sweet thing. And I will always walk out and go, feel my shoulders. Are they more relaxed? Do they feel just as tight? And he's like, yep, they're more relaxed.
He really sells it.
Yeah. Okay. So last self-care fail that I have for us today. So, I'm a big on affirmations, right? And before I got introduced to affirmations, I was introduced to guided meditation.
Okay.
And, if anyone who meets me thinks I'm intense now, if you had known me, 15 years ago, you wouldn't think I'm intense ever now.
She's as calm as a breeze.
Just hyper intense all the time. And I just had so much going on and so many things. And I was trying to, instead of picking and choosing and finding balance, it was all about, I want everything. I want to be the best at everything. I want to accomplish everything. I don't want to fail. I don't want to not meet my potential. And so I get introduced to this guided meditation, and I'm like, great, this sounds like a great thing to do, but where am I going to work this in? And so what I decided for some reason was that maybe I could do the guided meditation while I was on my commute, my drive into work. And so
I just feel like this isn't going to go well.
Here I am driving into work, and this isn't like a affirmation thing, because I do sometimes do my affirmations while I'm driving into work. But this is not a repeat after me. It's like a close your eyes and envision these things. And,
right.
Closing your eyes is definitely like the number one thing you should not do while you're driving. Well, maybe, I don't know. There's a lot of number one things you shouldn't do, like drinking and texting, but like closing your eyes has got to be up there on the list. You shouldn't close your eyes while you're driving. And so I'm like driving into work and I'm like trying to do this guided self-meditation while I'm driving. And I was just like, well, this isn't very effective. Like, this isn't very good. So then, I think I said that to a friend and they were like, Jen,
all the things they told you to do and then you didn't do them because you're driving?
Like, you can't do this while you drive. If you can't make 15 minutes to do this guided self-meditation, like this is probably the problem. This is your problem. Then I was traveling a lot as well. And so I thought maybe I could do it while I was sitting on the plane because, you're not
what
driving.
Else are you going to do?
You're just sitting on the plane. But that's probably not the best place for a guided meditation either.
No.
So that's my self-care fail, is trying to think that you can take mindfulness exercises and then just bake them into multitasking
have you
adventures.
since done them in a setting that is not driving or meant for?
Yes, I have. I actually prefer affirmations. There's something tactical about being able to physically say something out loud and repeat it that helps me really kind of manage my headspace better, versus with the guided meditation. I feel like I'm constantly judging myself in trying to keep my mind from going into a bunch of different places. And I think that there are a lot of people that maybe don't understand that because their brain doesn't work in the same way. But blank mind is not a thing. It's like when there is quiet, there is space for more squirrel thoughts. And so for me, having something to focus on instead is a more effective for me way to, it's like clearing the mind by focusing specifically instead of clearing the mind so that the focus comes to you. So that's why I like the affirmations for me personally better. But I will also say any self-care thing that you do where you just try and multitask, fit it in with something else and not give it the attention that it needs is probably not going to be as effective.
Right. Probably not going to necessarily have the outcome that you are looking for. But can I also just say that I loved that you talked to your friend about this, and your friend, Jen, come on. What a good friend.
That I thought that this was going to be the way to go. I mean, just come on. It was a little ridiculous, but it's okay, well, how can I be more focused and mindful without actually putting the time into it, devoting the time and prioritizing it, because I have all these other things going on. And I think that's part of the deal, is that you have to, it's you have to pay yourself first. You have to make time to invest in yourself first. And if you can't prioritize that, that's probably the problem.
Right. And that's what I was just about to say. We've talked about self-care in many different ways in other episodes. And I think we both truly believe in it and have figured out what works for us, but everything may be a little different for others. So we are by no means saying that these things don't work for others or shouldn't be used by others. They just necessarily aren't the right thing for us.
Or the way that we did it or executed it. Something in that moment did not work out.
Right, exactly. So,
but I will say, what we learned through this is more about ourselves through these experiences. And also, if you try something and it doesn't work, it's okay. It's not a one-size-fits-all. So try something else that does work for you. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is taking care of yourself, right?
Yep. Try again.
Yeah. So we can't be the only people that have self-care fails. I am assuming that all of you also have some self-care fails, and we would absolutely love to hear about your self-care fails and any tips or learnings that you have had along the way, because, we're pretty invested in how do we better ourselves? How do we help bring space for all of you to help better yourselves. Because, what's the point of, trying to go through life if we can't make ourselves happy, right?
That's right.
So
true.
we'd love to hear from you. I also will just share one of the things that I've been doing from a self-care standpoint is I downloaded this app. And it was one of those Facebook ads that got me.
It worked. It worked.
It worked. I kind of went along and I was like, I know they're trying to sell me something, but like, let's see. And it was like one of those things where you kind of like go engage with it and then you leave, like you're not going to buy it. And it's like, but wait, how about a super discounted? So it was like, I think $28 or something for 12 weeks. And I thought, okay, well, that's like, I can invest $28 for 12 weeks. That's less than a dinner out together. So I can do that. So I downloaded this app and it's like, use your own body weight for a workout. So you don't like need any equipment. Okay. Though I have equipment upstairs. And it's like a daily thing and you get a video and it's like 12 to 20 minutes. Between that time frame, kind of as you go along, they get a little bit longer. But they're a bunch of like little exercises that happen, so 30 seconds to 60 seconds at a time and you rotate through. And I will just tell you, I never knew my arms were this heavy. Like, I think, every time I do it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm dead. And also my arms are like on the floor. I don't have arms anymore or, just doing wall squats. It's kind of really sad that I've come to this point where these things that I could do 20 years ago with no problem are things that are just like impossible to do now.
I think based on the text messages that I've received from you this week, like this app is helping you reconnect with your body and realize, where things are again. But I think I think that's so interesting that you say that, because talking about self-care, like it's easy for us to get swept away in the things we want to achieve and we're trying to obtain. And so in some instances that self-care falls lower on that list. And now that you've prioritized it and you are focusing on it, like you have to start somewhere. And
I will
it may
say
be a little
too,
uncomfortable.
Because I had to pay for it, even though it was a nominal amount. So I was like, well, if this doesn't work for me, then like, it's not a big deal. But because I had to pay for it, I feel like I'm more invested in it. Like, well, I paid for it, because you can go find stuff on YouTube and, do these kinds of exercises. But, it's like available. It's out there. But am I making myself do it? Absolutely not. So now that there's an app and, it does give you a little like, good job once you're done, which usually I just kind of say some nasty things back to it. And it asks you this question after the little workout. It's like, are you feeling like you could have done more? Like it was just right? Or like
checks in.
Like this was just a lot and you're exhausted. And every single time I'm like, this was just a lot and I'm exhausted. And I know all I did was like hold my arms out to the side and raise them up above my head a bunch of times and like do some planks and some wall push-ups. And but let me just tell you, like when you haven't been using those muscles and you start to use them again, whew, that's hard.
So we'll
screaming. We'll see how it works out. It says, in the first month, you'll start to notice a difference. So a month is a really long time to wait, but I can tell that I obviously am engaging muscles that I have not been engaging for quite some time. And what I keep telling myself is like, the point is just that I'm doing it. Like I'm taking the steps. I can do it in my home. It's, 20 minutes max of time to invest. So it's not like it's too much time. It's not like I have to go somewhere to do it. It's not even like I have to get on a machine. I literally just get my yoga mat out and roll it on the floor and make a bunch of noise as I go through
as
the
you
steps.
follow the app's instructions.
What I also like is like 20 minutes sounds like it could feel like a long time, but it really doesn't feel like a long time because you're doing something different, every 30 to 60 seconds. So, I tell myself, well, I could do anything for 60 seconds, so I also think that I have reached a point in life, an age, an experience point in life where I also know how to not push myself past what is okay and injure myself. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't think I actually can do that one. I tried that. So let's do a modified version.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's okay. We'll work up to it. We are where we are.
I'm so proud of you just for doing it, like doing it, sticking with it, even whenever it's, you've experienced some discomfort from it, like you've stuck with it. And I'm excited to check back in a month and see how you feel you're doing.
Yeah, it's super accessible. So I love that. But
you know what else is accessible?
What?
Our podcast.
Absolutely.
So people should like, subscribe, listen in, text, email, call even.
We want to hear from you. We do. We check our inbox. So we want to hear from you. We want to hear what you want to talk about. We want to hear your tips. We'd love for this to be a two-way conversation. So just thanks for listening in. And we hope we really have brought you some levity and some ideas about how to lean in to caring for yourself and putting yourself first and bringing joy and happiness to your life.
All right. Well, until next time, folks.
Have a great day.
Later.